Honourable members, we have with us in the gallery today to observe proceedings. They are on an excursion program. Students of the Kenford Academy. Can you please rise for recognition? There you go. Thank you very much. You're welcome. Please be seated. Honorable colleagues, this is a notification of vacancy in the seat of Ogoja Yala Federal Constituency held by Honorable Jarigbe Agom Jarigbe. This is to notify honorable members of the House of Representatives pursuant to section 68(1)(a) and 2 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in 1999 that the seat of Ogoja Yala Federal Constituency of Cross River State held by Honorable Jarigbe Agom Jarigbe has become vacant. This vacancy is as a result of the election as Senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, his election as Senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and his subsequent taking of oath as Senator representing Cross River North Senatorial District. By virtue of this, the seat as a member. This notification is in fulfillment of the provisions of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 and for the records. Honorable Toby.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Toby Okechukwu and I represent an area of Wojiriba Federal Constituency from Enugu State. Constituents, one is Eugene Onyekwere, Chief Eugene Onyekwere Ugu. And this petition is with regard to the threat by the Ministry of Works and Housing to demolish, fence, and forcefully acquire Plot 2, Block D, National Sites and Survey Scheme, Federal Ministry of Works and Housing, Wagwalada, of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, without notice by the MDA. The second also, Mr. Speaker, is a petition by Mr. Promise Mbani and Associates on behalf of Promise Mbani, Block 20, Federal Government Layout, Wagwalada, in the Federal Capital Territory. These petitioners have come through, Mr. Speaker, to bring forth their plight, give due consideration to this.
Thank you. Please, you may lay your petition. Any other petition? Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my very distinguished colleagues. Engineer Solomon Maren is my name, FNSC, and I represent the people of Mangu Bokos Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Plateau State. Mr. Speaker, with me is a petition from two of my constituents who were forcefully retired from service at the Jos University Teaching Hospital. Mr. Speaker, the other officers who they were forcefully retired with have since been recalled back to work except these two doors, and hence their petition that the House do intervene so that they can be recalled back to work.
That's the last petition. Taiwo.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary of your state. I have a petition from Mr. Adebuke Olugbade in an appeal for justice for the death of Mr. Adegoke Timothy Oluwadamilare on the gruesome murder of his late brother, and lodged at Hilton Hotels and Resorts in Ile-Ife between 5th November to 7th November 2021. From his petition, the dastardly act was carried out in the said hotel, that is Hilton Hotel and Resort, within the said date. According to the police investigation, my constituent sent this petition to the House to forestall privation of justice and making sure the perpetrator of the heinous crime is brought to book, and in order not to allow the investigation to be compromised. Mr. Speaker, sir, may I be allowed to lay the petition for further consideration? Thanks.
Yeah, please lay your petition. We move on. Petitions referred to the Committee on Public Petitions. Somebody had a motion of urgent public importance. Okay, it's Honorable BYA, yes.
The Right Honorable Speaker, my fellow colleagues, Bolaji Yusuf Ayinla, representing Mushin Constituency 2 in Lagos, my name. Need to urge National Emergency Management Authority and other sister agency meant to handle emergency to provide material support for the victim of gas explosion in Mushin Constituency 2. Mr. Speaker, my fellow honorable member, know that there was a massive explosion at Ladipo Market, Mushin, caused by a deadly gas explosion from a mechanic workshop within the market. At least 5 persons were burned to death when the explosion rocked a mechanic premises around 8 a.m. Aware that apart from the deaths recorded, there were injuries of vehicles different brands were destroyed and some buildings were badly affected too. Mr. Speaker, my fellow honorable member, also aware that security operative and emergency responder have condoned off all the area as rescue operation and on the spot assessment has continued. Concerned at the fact the affected person will need the support of the government agency meant to handle emergencies. Convenient that there is a need to urge National Emergency Management Authority and other agencies meant to handle the emergency in Lagos State. Mr. Speaker, honorable member, to urge material support for victims of gas explosion in Mushin. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to represent my constituency very well to get a quicker emergency support. Thank you.
Honorable colleagues, this is a reminder, an announcement. Remind honorable members of the invitation to my book launch, which is a part of the National Children's Dialogue, taking place as follows. Saturday, 20th of November, venue will be at Shehu Musa Yaradua Center in Abuja here, and the time is 10 a.m. Your presence will be highly appreciated. Signed, representing the book, 160 Things Every Child Should Know About the Nigerian Constitution, Child Rights Act, and Other Laws. 10 o'clock, Saturday, Musa Yaradua. Point of order, who is that?
It's me that
Order.
thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. I'm Abubakar Samfulata. I represent Berniwa, Greek Asama, Gudi Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Jigawa State. Mr. Speaker, I'm coming under personal explanation order 8 raised by the relevant committee of Goro Bayelsa State. Instead of the relevant, it was
Go
presented.
back to your seat, please. You are distracted.
Found that his committee, that bill was committed, was a bill passed in the Assembly and was recommitted by the Rules and Business Committee to the Committee of the Whole. And accordingly, it's not supposed to go back to the committee. It was committed directly to the Committee of the Whole. It was based on that the committee listed the name of Honorable Alec under the
Comrade, Chairman. Go ahead, we have issues right now. Go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
I'm from the Kano Emirate, not a villager. Your Excellency the Speaker, honorable colleagues, I'm from Kano State, the central city of Kano. I'm from the Emirate of Kano. I'm not from the suburbs, sir. Yes. Your Excellency, I rise to respond to the disposition of the chairman of the Committee on Rules and Housing. The issue on contention, Honorable Speaker, is not about whether the committee has jurisdiction or the author of the bill. As he rightly described, this bill under reference was a bill from the 8th Assembly. Supposing I'm not the chairman of the committee. No, I was not the chairman of the committee then. Am I not supposed to be notified that a bill that is supposed to be processed by my committee is to be led because of X, Y, Z? I cannot recall that even as then this bill passed through our committee. And correctly too, it was not the product of the House of Representatives. It is the product of the Senate. Then he has a responsibility to notify members and to notify the chair of that committee so that we could be on the same page. But he cannot assume that everybody knows where, when, and who owns which bill. I think he has a responsibility to get in touch with members and to try as much as it is possible for him to liaise with members and to give members adequate information as it relates to their own activities. But he is behaving like a head boy, deciding which bill should go to who. I object to this, and I think he should be guided. And I object to the power he wants to usurp of declaring me out of order. He has no power to declare me out of order. You are the only one that can declare me out of order, and I object to this.
Chairman, Mr. Saru, read the point of order you referred to.
I just made a clarification
Okay, you came under personal explanation.
Under personal explanation.
That it was a recommittal bill,
Yes.
and therefore from the last session.
Yes, and committed directly after first, second reading. It was committed to committee of the whole.
Okay.
To committee of the whole dispose of the matter. Committee of the motion is supposed to dispose of the matter. After first, second reading, it was committed to committee of the whole. And what was the fact that
what was taken at the committee of whole was a report.
It was a report, consideration of report.
Who submits reports?
Who submits reports?
Who brings reports to committee of the whole by our rules?
Under normal circumstances, with the exception bill passed by the previous assembly.
What it means is that when you're done with the committee, the last assembly, sorry, the committee, the house or the committee, but it's never the person who sponsored the bill that brings it to the committee of the whole.
Yeah.
So, in the absence of the leader, brings a report as an individual to the committee of the whole.
Yeah.
So it was wrong for Honorable Fred
12.
to have brought that as, even though he's the sponsor of the bill.
He was just asked to read the synopsis.
It's the only person that is presenting the report that reads the synopsis.
Yes, sir.
And then even for the simple reason that the committee should know about it, it's sufficient. So we need to work out, is it even the leader of the house, if it's a recommittal bill from last assembly that brings it to the committee of the whole, or but certainly not the author of the bill. He can be mentioned. He can be mentioned as the author, but not acknowledgement. But not that, yes, yes.
I'm a respected colleagues representing Wasefere constituency. Mr. Speaker, respected colleagues, the procedure of constitutional report that rightly put by the chairman rules when we are committing to committee of the whole, sir. It is not the author or the sponsor of the bill that gives the synopsis, but the leadership, and which is that function. And so it is very clear that the person who is authoring is not and cannot be the person now to give the synopsis of him.
It's on to do with institutional responsibility and institutional memory. Mr. Speaker, I rise by your leave to put it clear to the House Committee Chairman on Rules and Business and to every other member here that you cannot assume in a session, in every sitting, that the leader of the House is absent. I could be absent as a person, Adodogwa may be absent. But by our procedure, Mr. Speaker, just like the chair cannot be absent, there must be somebody presiding over. It is assumed somebody else must be here, and upon the leave of the chair, will be acting for the leader of the House. So, Honorable Flatter, who is of course an academic, I want to put it to you that next time don't even make that mistake. The leader is assumed to always be present on the floor of the House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
So the points made are noted for the records. When a bill is recommitted, even from the last session, it is the leader of the House takes charge of it, and in the absence of the leader, bodily, if his body is absent, he's not in the chambers at the time, then he has an assistant or whoever is designated by the chair.
The committee is discharged from that responsibility. So it's not only when bill come from assembly to assembly, but when even such bill was committed to the committees and committee makes reports, the committee is assumed discharged because it's property of the House. And the leader also is saddled with the responsibility of seeing to it at the committee of the whole. and
No,
not.
I'm not sure I agree with that.
Yeah, that's the truth.
No, I'm not sure I agree with that.
That is true.
Every bill, from the moment is read for the first time on the floor, becomes the business of the House. From the moment it is read, even for first reading, becomes the business of the House. The committee is not discharged. The committee is not discharged. When it goes to committee, it's not discharged until it passes the House. What is wrong? That's what you're saying, that what we've been doing all along all these years is wrong. It's the committee that does that. Yes, I think you want to refer us to, yes.
Stipulates, sir, and that's what we have been doing. For all the committees or committee of the whole, we just go to clause by clause consideration. I refer you to page 76, sir.
76?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we go to clause by clause, yes.
That's what we do.
Yeah, I am aware of that,
Thank you,
yes.
sir.
But the question is that who explains the report, who defends the report,
It is
who gives us an idea of the report? That is the question, yes.
No, there's no, you just include that one. You just go for.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Tobi Okechukwu, I represent an area of Nigeria Federal Constituency from Enugu State. Mr. Speaker, I think we might be missing the salient point which my friend, comrade, raised. I agree with the Deputy Speaker regarding the procedure on consideration of reports. I also agree with the Speaker, with the House Leader, who appears to address. I think the salient point which comrade is raising is that for us, for a cognate consideration of report, like you rightly pointed out, who defends the report, who answers to issues that we need, one way or the other, there is a correlation between the committee and the quality of report they bring. And it is their duty to defend it when members raise issues. In the absence, I do not think that there will be anybody, because they bear responsibility for that report. It will also be prudent, even when it is not stated in the rules, it will be prudent that the chairman rules. By where we get these notices, at least almost at the beginning of each week, or even prior to the beginning of the next week. That's where they put, these things come on notice, to prepare members regarding the businesses that come to the House. And it is in that respect it is to know that this business is coming. Because as you consider the report, there will be cogent reasons for them to defend it, whether it's clause by clause, or make additional knowledge-based input so that members of the parliament can take quality decisions. So I do not think the chairman of Education Committee is looking for a business. He has so many tertiary institutions to take care of, but he wants the House to be properly guided. Thank you.
Okay, Honorable Osai, what you were saying when you talk about being discharged of your responsibilities, it's not the committee that is discharged of its responsibilities. After second reading, debate of general principles, it is the sponsor of the bill that is discharged. That bill is now, hold on a second, to the committee. That is why the sponsor of a bill may not even be at the public hearing if he doesn't want to be. It's no longer his baby. It belongs to the committee. And the committee continues to work. Because even at the time we consider the report, if we're not satisfied, even at the time we consider the report, if we're not satisfied with the report, during consideration of the report, we can step it down and refer it back to the committee to go out, to put finishing touches to it. So the committee is never discharged of its responsibilities. Now, let me very quickly refer the leader to the leader's responsibilities under our rules on page 26. It says the leader of the House shall be a member nominated from among members of the majority party of the House. His functions shall be to, 1, lead the business of the House. Correct? 2, manage the legislative schedule of the House. 3, liaise with committee chairmen and other principal officers of the House. And 4, perform such other duties as they may be assigned to him. So yes, when you say the leader of the House shall handle the business of the House, that includes first reading, that includes second reading, or even so whatever comes to the House, the leader of the House shall handle the business of the House. And it says there specifically shall liaise with chairmen and principal officers. So the chairman's role of a committee is extremely important. To relegate the role of a chairman, and don't forget that the House, under our rules, the committees work as a mini House. To relegate the role or function of the chairman to, we've sent the bill to you, go and bring a report and you are done. No, we can't do that. The committees are extremely important, even at the point of laying and consideration of report, because they will answer to that report. And on that note, honorable colleagues, there are several, and very important, this is very, very important. There are several bills that are sent to committee, public hearing and public policy dialogues have taken place, and we're still waiting for those reports. These are very, very critical, very important bills to our legislative agenda. Some of them have been there for 3, 4, maybe even 5 months. They've done public hearing or policy dialogues, and nothing has happened. So if we don't get this report by December 10th, those reports or those committees, what's that? Those committees will stand discharged by our rules, and we will refer them to another committee, even if it's an ad hoc committee, to complete the report. Now, HB 1153, National Social Investment Program Establishment Bill. HB 1155, National Emergency Management Agency Establishment Act Amendment Bill by Honorable Henry Nwauba and 4 others. HB 1298, National Security Trust Fund Establishment Bill, Honorable Shawulu. HB 1152, Northeast Development Commission Act, Honorable Khadija Bukar Ibrahim. HB 981, Electoral Act. Okay, that has already been sorted. HB 1112, Police Service Commission Act, Honorable Yusuf Adamu Gagdi. HB 1405, Armed Forces Act, Amendment Bill. HB 1406, that are just sitting down there months after public hearing that know that we haven't gotten any report. HB 1407, Honorable Henry Nwauba again, that's the National Security and Civil Defense Corps Act. HB 1408, National Security and Civil Defense Corps Act again, Honorable Nwauba. HB 1409, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission Act and Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria Amendment Bill, Honorable Nwauba. HB 1413, ECOWAS Convention on Small Arms and Light Weapons and Ammunition and Other Related Materials, Honorable Alassane Dogwa, Honorable Kiruka, Honorable Nwauba. Yes. Honorable colleagues, I've just been reminded I have to leave right now for a meeting with Mr. President. Yes. What?
Honorable Sergius.
Respected colleagues, any seconder to the motion raised by our colleague from motion? Honorable Ari. Press the request. Ali.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Respected colleagues, QS Ari Mohammed Abdul Mumin, MNI QS, member representing Nasrallah Total Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion, heavily moved by colleagues.
We can proceed to give us the highlights of the motion. Oh my God. Briefs of the motion. The highlight to take them against Sunday. That's have it. Respected colleagues, the first business of the day, presentation of 15 bills. I now invite the clerk to read their short titles.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 Alteration Bill 2021, first reading. National Broadcasting Commission Act Amendment Bill 2021, first reading. Treasury Single Account Fund Establishment Bill 2021, first reading. Federal College of Agriculture Kaba Establishment Bill 2021, first reading. Nigeria Army School of Finance and Administration Education Technical Guaram Establishment Bill 2021, first reading. Board for Technology Business Incubator Center 2021, first reading. Nigeria Institute for Oceanography and Marine Research Victoria Island Establishment Bill 2021, first reading. Correspondence Colleges Act Amendment Bill 2021, first reading. National Technical and Vocational Institute, Ikaria Koko Ondo State Establishment Bill 2021, first reading. Federal College of Dental Technology and Therapy, Talase Gombe State Establishment Bill 2021, first reading. Aviation Engineering and Technology, Agara Delta State Establishment Bill 2021, first reading.
Thank you, Clerk. The second business of the day is presentation of two reports of the Committee on Science and Technology. Standing in now on Honorable Benelar. Honorable Benelar is invited to present the report.
Move that the House do receive the report of the Committee on Science and Technology on a bill for an act to establish the National Renewable Energy Development Agency, charged with the responsibility of promoting the use of renewable energy resources and for related matters. I so move. Mr. Speaker, may I also move for the next bill so that the two bills are moved at once? May I proceed? Thank you, sir. May I also move that the House do receive the report of the Committee on Science and Technology on a bill for an act to amend the Energy Commission of Nigeria, Act Cap E10, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to make it compulsory for the federal government through the Commission to harness, exploit, explore and utilize other sources of energy other than hydro and gas energy sources in Nigeria and for related matters. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So move.
Honorable Osai.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. distinguished honorable colleagues, I remain Honorable Osai Nicholas Osai. I represent Noko Okwani Federal Constituency of Delta State. I'm an Okwani man. I rise to second the motions, ably moved by one of the most ranking legislators of the Night Assembly. I still second.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. That's have it. Honorable Benula, go ahead and present the report. Respected colleagues, the first order of the day is the third reading of the bill for an act to establish the Federal University of Agriculture, Jalingo, to make comprehensive provisions for the management and administration of the university and for related matters of the House Leader. Honourable members will recall that the House adopted the report of the Committee of the Whole on the bill on Wednesday, 6 October 2021. I therefore call on the Leader of the House to move that the bill be read the third time. Bills and the fourth.
My respected and the good people of Dogwa, Chudungwada Federal Constituency, Honorable Goro, I'm equally from Kano State. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I rise as directed by the Honorable Speaker in the chair to move on the bill number 1, 2, 3, and 4 consecutively, of course, to be able to save our legislative time. And Mr. Speaker, I therefore rise to move that a bill for an act to establish a bill for be taken the third time, or related matters be read the third time. And finally, a bill for an act to establish Federal College of Education, Bende, to provide full-time courses, teaching, instruction, and training in technology, applied sciences, commerce, arts and social sciences, humanities, and management, to carry out research in the development and adaptation of techniques, and also make provisions for the appointment of a provost and the officials of the college to carry out the administration and discipline of students of the college and for related matters, HB.
Deputy Majority Leader.
I was, since the House Leader is in charge of businesses of the House, I was duly consulting him. But I'm sure the Deputy Speaker wanted to relocate me from where I was occupying his seat to my own. Well, I hereby second that the bills as stated by the House Leader be read for the third time. I so second.
For the motion, say aye. Against say nay. That's have it. Clerk is invited to read the long title of the bill.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to establish Federal University of Agriculture, Jalingo, to make comprehensive provisions for management and administration of the university and for related matters. Third reading. A bill for an act to provide for establishment of Federal University of Agriculture and Technology, ABO, and for related matters. Third reading. A bill for an act to provide for establishment of Federal College of Education, Technical, Auro, Bayelsa State, and for related matters. Third reading. A bill for an act to establish Federal College of Education, Bende, to provide full-time courses, teaching, instruction, and training in technology, applied sciences, commerce, arts, social sciences, humanities, and management, and to carry out research in the development and adaptation of techniques, and also make provision for the appointment of a provost and the officials of the college to carry out the administration and discipline of students of the college, and for related matters. Third reading.
Bills read the third time and pass. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 and the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria jurisdiction under the Constitution to ensure the independence and for related matters, standing now Honorable Solomon Bob. Honorable Bob is invited to move the bill is invited to move for the consideration of the bill. Is consolidation? Consolidation. Colleague Bob, I suppose it should be the chairman rules. Is it comment? Sorry. Is it second reading? Thank you. Bob. The writing is not complete.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Distinguished colleagues, my name is Solomon Bob Tate. I rise to move that the bill, the Superior Court of Record, be read for the second time.
Mr. Konda. Architect. Sorry.
My name is Boniface Emerengwa, colleague Solomon.
Yes, lead the debate, Honorable.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Permit me to lead the debate on the general principles. The bill seeking to alter the constitution of our dear country with a view to removing the Code of Conduct Tribunal. This bill proposes to amend principally sections 6, section 6, 84, 240, 243, 254. All these sections deal with, was read for the first time on 17th of July 2020. Mr. Speaker, I go through the arguments that supports this bill. Mr. Speaker, it is trite that in a presidential democracy such as ours, the three arms of government are separate in functions, powers, and composition. This distinct separation of powers is indeed by the. It is not therefore by accident that the Constitution specifically sets out the powers of each of the three arms as spelled out in sections 4, 5, and 6 for the legislature, the executive, and judiciary, respectively. The Code of Conduct Tribunal, the focal point of this bill, is undoubtedly a judicial body created by paragraph 15 of the fifth schedule to the Constitution and section 20 of the Federal with responsibility of fine offenses under the Code of Conduct Bureau Act. However, it is absurd and indeed confounding that a judicial tribunal clothed with enormous powers to sanction public officers found guilty of violating the Code of Conduct Act, including power to order forfeiture and bar offender from holding public office. These of reference, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, paragraph 18, subparagraph 2 of the fifth schedule, which deals with powers of the tribunal, provides in extenso, and I quote, the punishments which the Code of Conduct Tribunal may impose shall include any of the following: A, vacation of office or seats in any legislative house, as the case may be. B, disqualification from membership of the legislative house and from holding of any public office for a period not exceeding 10 years. C, seizure and forfeiture to the state of any property acquired in abuse or corruption of office. The above provisions clearly clothe the tribunal with a judicial body, as a judicial body with the powers of a competent court of record. The failure to situate the tribunal under the judicial arm of government thus runs contrary to the principle and practice of separation of powers in a presidential democracy, such as we professedly practice. To illustrate this point, Mr. Speaker,
and my honorable colleagues, it is noteworthy to point out here that the highest court of this land, the Supreme Court, has held in the case of Saraki and Federal Republic of Nigeria that the chairman and members of the Court of Appeals Tribunal are not judicial officers. That being the case, they are not subject to the discipline and sanction of the National Judicial Council like all other judicial officers. This point is very important. Furthermore, the offices of the chairman and members of the Court of Appeals Tribunal are clearly omitted in the judicial oaths contained in the seventh.
We have 30 seconds to run up.
Seventh schedule to the Constitution. Pardon me, Mr. Speaker?
30 seconds.
Pardon me?
30 seconds to run up.
Give me 1 minute. 1 minute. Much obliged, sir. Honorable colleagues, given effect to this amendment, will therefore make members of the tribunal, judicial officers, with the attendant protection and privileges that will afford, besides securing the fund of the tribunal, as its funding will be charged on the Complementary Revenue Fund of the Federation and released directly to the head as statutory transfers. This will in turn immune them substantially from the manipulation and control of the executive. Honorable colleagues, under a presidential democracy, one single arm of government ought not exercise executive and judicial powers, such as is the case presently. The horrifying consequences or dangers of placing the tribunal under executive as it is today are clear for us all to see. Its independence is non-existent, and its instrumentalization by the executive as a weapon against the legislature and the judiciary is evident and undeniable.
Thank you, Honorable.
I'm just about running up.
Thank you. We have a lot of, it's already past 12.
Mr. Speaker,
Your prayer should be your duty past.
Complain. I so move.
Thank you. Those in favor of the motion of the bill will be read second time, say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk is invited.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to alter the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 and the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria Third Alteration Act 2011 to provide for establishment of the Code of Conduct Tribunal as part of the judicature under the Constitution to ensure its independence and for related matters. Second reading.
Bill referred to Ad hoc Committee on Constitutional Review, Special Ad hoc Committee on Constitutional Review. The sixth order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principle of a bill for an act to repeal the Federal College of Education Act, CAP F8 Laws of Federation of Nigeria 2004, and enact the Federal College of Education Bill 2021. I now invite Honorable Suleiman to move the bill be read the second time.
Honorable Speaker, Federal Constituency. Honorable Speaker, I move that a bill for an act to repeal the Federal College of Education Act, F8, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and enact the Federal College of Education Bill and for related matters, HB 1455, be read the second time. I move, Honorable Speaker.
Seconder. Yes, Honorable.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I'm Honorable Akin Alabi. I represent the good people of Egbeda on our federal constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from your state. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second that the bill ably sponsored by Honorable Aminu Suleiman be read for the second time. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Go to the debate.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues. The bill under reference, Honorable Speaker, is intended to update the Act governing teaching and learning in our colleges of education throughout the country. It has 3 clauses that are requiring for action and activity from the miscellaneous and supplementary. The Act, as it exists, Honorable, of learning and teaching in our institutions of learning, particularly colleges of education. Majority of the colleges of education, as they stand today, Honorable Speaker and Honorable colleagues, run a degree program, but they can only do this through an affiliation with either university, public or private.
Honorable Lekki, I turn back to your seat.
Majority of them have capacity to run a full-time degree program standing on their own. But as the law exists now, they are limited. They can only do this through affiliation. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, the Act covering and giving legal bite to their existence dated back to early 70s and to 80s, where in some instances, some of these institutions are in other states. For instance, Federal College of Education, Gombe, was created when Gombe was under Bauchi State. And the law still recognizes Federal College of Education, Gombe, under Bauchi State. With the passage of this bill, all these institutions that secure freedom from their sister state will now automatically assume the name of the state under which they are existing. The bill also seeks to make a one-term tenure for all the provosts to serve for only one term of 5 years, just like it exists in the universities. Because of want of time, I will suggest and appeal to the House to look at the recommendation of the committee when clause by clause is being considered, and hopefully the colleges will benefit from the magnanimity of the House to ensure
that the bill be read second and say aye. Against say nay. That's have it. Clerks is invited to read the long title of the bill.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to repeal the Federal Colleges of Education Act, Cap F8, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and enact the Federal Colleges of Education Bill and for related matters. Second reading.
Bill referred to Committee on Tertiary Education and Services. Respected colleagues, the seventh order of the day is commencement of a debate on the general principle of a bill for an act to amend the Orthopedic Hospital Management Board Act, Cap 01 or Los Federation. Only members will record. Honorable Kwe is on the floor.
Mr. Speaker, it seems Honorable Kwe is not on the floor. I move that the second reading of the bill be stepped down by the leave of the House. I so move.
Second reading of the bill stepped down by the leave of the House. Respected colleagues, the eighth order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principle of a bill for an act to establish the Federal College of Education, Federal College of Agriculture, Gaidam, Yobe State, to provide for the full-time courses leading to the award and for related matters standing in the Honorable One. Now invite Honorable Ali to move that the bill the second time.
Your Excellency, the Right Honorable Speaker, my amiable and supportive honorable colleagues, leaders and colleagues, I rise to move that the motion, that the bill, Diploma
higher national diploma in agriculture and allied disciplines and be responsible for the due administration of the college and for related matters, HB 1277, be read for the second time, sir.
Wonder, Acting Whip.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, respected colleagues. My name is Engineer Satomi Ahmed. I represent the good people of Jere Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Borno State. I rise to second that the bill for the establishment of Federal College of Agriculture, Gaidam, heavily sponsored by my good brother, Honorable Lawan Shetima, to be read for the second time. I so second, sir.
You still need to give this. Okay, in 1 minute.
Your Excellency, I'll just surprise you. I am Lawan Shetima Ali, representing the good people of Brusari Gaidam Unusari Federal Constituency. Your Excellency, sir, permit me to lead this debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to establish Federal College of Agriculture, Gaidam Yobe State, to provide full-time courses leading to the award of diploma, higher national diploma in agriculture and allied disciplines, and be responsible for the administration of the college and for other related matters. This bill was read for the first time on the 23rd March 2021, HB 1277. Mr. Speaker, sir, honorable members, or honorable colleagues, Gaidam is one of the local government areas in Yobe State that needs educational institution to cater for its disadvantaged position. The people of Gaidam in particular and northern part of Yobe State in general are predominantly peasant farmers and therefore find it difficult to send their wards to far distance learning in pursuit of education. Sir, the establishment of the College of Agriculture
Ranking by age
avail us the opportunity to acquire agricultural techniques. The fundamental objectives of the Federal College of Education, College of Agriculture Gaidam Bill, the bill seeks to provide federal agricultural training institution for the agrarian community along the River Yobe and the River Komadugana axis, which transverse the whole state, covering more than 200 kilometers, Surunguru, Gashua, Bursari, Gaidam, Unusari, Damasak in Borno State, and Dipa in the Nigerian Republic, leading to, that is ravaging the constituency, to provide the insurgency.
Honorable Benkalu, return back to your seat.
Youth in my constituency with the requisite agricultural knowledge that will prepare them as farmers in future to change their mindset to look for food. The need to prepare the younger one be overemphasized. Outline of the bill consists of 6 parts, 23 sections, a schedule and supplementary provisions for and the governing council of the college and their tenure. C, part 2 deals with the powers and functions of the governing councils. Part 3 deals with staff of the College of Agriculture, their appointment and conditions of service. Then part 4 deals with matters related to financial provisions, annual reports, etc. Part 5 deals with general administration and staff discipline. And then 6 deals with miscellaneous provision, interpretations, and citation. Advantages of the bills are to develop and offer academic professional programs leading to the award of certificates, ordinary national diplomas, high national diplomas, which emphasizes planning, adaptive technical maintenance, developmental and productive skills in agriculture, and to contribute scientific transformation of agriculture in Nigeria. B, to act as an agent and catalyst through trainings, research and innovation for the effective and economic utilization, exploitation and conservation of the country's natural, agricultural, economic and resources. C, to identify the agricultural problems and needs of Nigeria and to find solutions to them within the context of overall national development. D, to provide and promote sound basic scientific training as a foundation for the development of agriculture and allied disciplines. To promote and emphasize teaching, research, and the extension of agricultural knowledge, including agricultural extension services and outreach programs, etc.
Thank you very much.
Conclusion, sir. Conclusion, sir. Conclusion, it is therefore my belief that when the Federal College of Agriculture Gaidam is established, it will provide and promote sound basic scientific training as a foundation for the development of agriculture and allied discipline. It will also promote, emphasize teaching, research, and extension of agricultural knowledge, including agricultural extension services and outreach programs, etc. I therefore appeal to Mr. Speaker and highly respected colleagues for your overwhelming support that the bill be now read for the second time. I also submit, sir.
Those in favor that the bill be now read the second time, say aye. Against, say nay. That's have it. Clerks is invited.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to establish Federal College of Agriculture, Gaidam, Yobe State, to provide full-time courses leading to the award of diploma, higher national diploma in agriculture and allied disciplines.
Bill referred to Committee on Agricultural Colleges and Institutions. Respected, the ninth order of the day is a motion on need to upgrade the correctional centers in Nigeria, standing in the name of Honorable Mohammed Gudaji Kazaude. Honorable Gudaji is invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My highly respected colleagues, my name is Honorable Mohammed Gudaji Kazaure, member representing Kazaure, Roni, Wiwa, and Mkwashi. Mr. Speaker, I am from Jigawa State. Right Honorable Speaker, my highly respected colleagues, I rise to move a motion on need to upgrade correctional centers in Nigeria. The House notes the recent cases of jailbreak across the country, which destroy correctional centers and their security system. Also note that correctional centers are where convicted criminals are kept to make the society safe. Thus, it is dangerous for such convict to be let loose. Concerned that if adequate steps are not taken to rearrest the escaped convict and provide adequate security in correctional centers, some of the criminals who escape may become more emboldened to the point of forming odd and sophisticated arms, such as GPMG and automatic machine guns, and latest security electric fence wires attached with shocking gunmen to take over, exempt the centers from paying electricity bill. The correctional centers.
Yes, Doctor.
Federal constituency. I'm from Kano State. I rise to second the motion, heavily moved by Honorable Gudaji Kazole.
I remain Honorable Mohammed Gudaji Kazaure, member representing Kazaure, Roni, Wiwa, and Mkwashi. Mr. Speaker, I am from Jigawa. Important because if we look into the society, the highest place where criminals are kept is correctional centers to be not safe. And gradually, criminals will not fear any, if they were arrested and detained. If we upgrade all these correctional centers and we put arms, because these people, they are coming with AK-47 to attack the places, and the correctional center guards, they too, they hold AK-47. So they have the same power superior. So that is why we say we upgrade to give them general purpose machine gun. That anybody came to break the jail will be fired from the distance, so that you will not come across the place. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, we need to use electric fence. That electric fence was shocking gadget is the latest used in all the correctional center in the advanced countries. So even you come in thousands to break the jail. Using that professional CCTV cameras will help the place so that the place will be monitored 24 hours, day and night. And if that things happen, prisoner can, or the jailbreakers will come and break the jail. That CCTV, professional CCTV cameras, through it, they will be detected. Colleagues, this motion is very important, and I need your support to support it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. That's it. Suicide cases in Nigeria standing in no honorable Gaza. Befi is invited into the motion.
Colleagues, my name is Honorable Gaza Jonathan Befi, and I rise to move a motion on the urgent need to address rising spate of suicide cases in Nigeria. The House notes the prevalence of suicide cases in Nigeria, especially among youths between the ages of 15, showing that 1/5 of suicide cases are persons aged between 13 to 19 years, and over 50% of the crisis calls received through hotlines are from youths aged between the ages of 13 to 19, and 27.8% of them are students. The House is informed that according to the National Bureau for Statistics, 333 and 196 respectively as of the year 2017. While other reports shows that about 80 persons ended their lives between April 8, 2017 and May 12, 2019, specifically Daily Trust. The House is aware that the socio-economic factors contribute largely to mental illnesses such as depression, anxiety disorders, etc., which are on the increase and are the leading causes of suicide in Nigeria. Right Honourable Speaker, esteemed colleagues, the House is concerned that the level of awareness of the Nigerian public of mental disorders. The House is also concerned that although Nigeria has the highest number of mental cases in Africa, it has one of the lowest number of psychiatrists in the world, with only about 250 of them providing mental health care in the entire country. Disturbed that the only form of legislation of law in 1950s in Nigeria, and to set up another committee to review extant mental health laws to provide for proper care, mental disorder, for psychiatric practice in.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, from Gwefi. I so second. Thank you.
About.
Mr. Speaker.
On your motion about suicide.
Right Honourable Speaker, esteemed colleagues, it's a motion that need not in the world at large. Unfortunately, depression is a very silent killer that is eroding the fabric of our, and because a stage in time says now.
Order of the day is a motion on need to strengthen curriculum on the floor of the House. The 10th order of the day is a motion on need to reinstate the Federal Training Center in Maiduguri, standing.
Respected colleagues, I stand Engineer Santomi Ahmad, representing Jere Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Borno State. My motion from Kaduna, where the House note that the Federal Training Center was first established in Lagos in 1957 to facilitate a deliberate policy of Nigerianization of the public service, as well as accelerating the pace of training of clerical and secretarial staff in the public service generally. Also note that in 1960, when Nigeria became independent, the first batch of the staff trained in Lagos Federal Training Center had made an impact in various government offices, departments, and agencies. Aware that the Kaduna Federal Training Center was established in 1960 to cater for federal institutions and departments in defunct Nigeria, northern Nigeria, to motivate and encourage public servants of northern Nigeria to undergo professional training to fulfill up several vacancies that became vacant with the gradual withdrawal of expatriate staffs in various levels of public service. Also aware that in 1976, additional centers were established in Ilorin, Enugu in 1977, Maiduguri in 1978, and Calabar in 1982, in the bid to meet the manpower requirement of the federal public service and to reflect the federal character. Further aware that the Federal Training Center has become the first choice of training institute in Nigeria in the field of management administration to excellent academic professionals, entrepreneurial education, and entrepreneurial education, on an appropriate course of clerical, secretarial, and management skill for serving junior and middle-level public officers of grade level 01 to 07. Alleviate the acute shortage of manpower in these cadres, thus enabling them to respond positively and meet the manpower needs in junior and middle-level cadres. Enhance productivity and effective job performance among the rank and file of junior middle-level staff, thus providing the vital link and service to the management cadres. Develop new job skills, refreshed old in all areas of operation. Concerned that in February 2012, due to the impact of the insurgency in the northeast, particularly in Maiduguri geopolitical zone, the Maiduguri Center was temporarily relocated to Kaduna pending the return of normalcy. Disturbed that many participants and students drawn from the various states of northeast are compelled to take the risk of traveling to Kaduna for training at the center. Worried by the rising level of insecurity in the county, Kaduna State, due to the activities of bandit, kidnappers, criminals, and terrorists, and the risks of being taken by students undergoing courses at Kaduna Center from the northeast states. Serious of the need to relocate the Federal Training Center from Kaduna to Maiduguri following the return of normalcy and the level of peace presently experienced in Maiduguri, even much more than the Kaduna. Resolve, urge the head of service of the Federation to direct the relocation of the Federal Training Center or reinstatement of the Federal Training Center, the relevant committees, to mandate the relevant committees of public service matters and legislative compliance to ensure implementation. I so move, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Seconder. Yes, Honorable.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My dear colleagues, my name is Honorable Bargaja, member presenting East Sabunbini Federal Constituency, I'm from Sokoto State. I move to second the motion moved by Honorable Ahmad. Thank you.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. Respected colleagues, the 13th order of the day is a motion to rehabilitate the Amusia Oguagba of the motion.
Mr. Speaker, on the opportunity is not on the floor. I move that the motion be stepped.
Provide adequate security measures.
Honorable Oluga is not on the floor. I move that the motion be stepped down by the leader of the House. So
motion stepped down by the leader of the House. Respected colleagues, the 15th order of the day is consideration of bill for an act to abolish
and prohibit dichotomy and discrimination between first degree and higher national diploma in the same professional field. For the House leader will move for his consideration.
I'm Comrade Peter Patterson, representing the great people of Akoko Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am from Edo State. I move that the House will consider a bill for an act to abolish the prohibition, dichotomy, and discrimination between first degree and higher national diploma (HND) in the same profession field for the purpose of employment and for related matters, HB 1466 and 579.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My name is Nasser Ali Ahmed. I represent.
Favor the motion, say aye. Against, say nay. That's it. The 16th order of the day is a resumption of consideration of a bill for an act to establish a village group of Nigeria for Nigeria and for related matters. Honorable members recall that on Wednesday, 4th December 2019, consideration of the bill was deferred. The House constituted an annual committee to examine the bill in line with similar laws and make appropriate recommendation to the House. I now invite Honorable Tais Manguno to move to brief the House on the. Tais Manguno is not on the floor, so yeah. Okay. It's not for briefing until we come for the consideration. The brief says very wrong. Leader, move for the consideration of the 16th order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Once again, I'm Comrade Peter Patterson, representing Akoko Edo Federal Constituency. I'm from Edo State. I move for the consideration of a bill for an act to establish for Nigerians and for related matters, HB 437. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Dr. Sekon.
To second the motion, ably moved by the leader. Also second.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against, say nay. That's it. The Speaker, the 17th order of the day is consideration of report on of the Committee on Human Rights on bill for an act to repeal the National Human Rights Commission Act Cap N46 Laws of Edition Nigeria 2004 as amended and enact the National Human Rights Commission Bill to strengthen the Commission to conduct investigation in July. Honorable Jende will move.
Mr. Speaker, my name is Romande Shawulu Kwewum, represent the chairman of the Committee on Human Rights on a bill for an act to repeal the National Human Rights Commission Act, CAP N46, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, as amended, and enact and for related matters.
Seconder. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues. My name is Honorable Kabir Idris, member representing Kura, Madobi, Garumala, Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Kano State. I rise to support this very important bill, heavily moved by my elder colleague. I so support, Mr. Speaker.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against, say nay. That's it. The 18th order of the day is constitution of report of the Committee on Tertiary Education and Services on a bill for an act to establish the Federal College of Education, Leah Orogun, Oshu State, and for related matters. Honorable members recall that the report was laid on Tuesday, 6 July 2021. Honorable Minister Suleiman will move for his consideration. some reason that we had to take out, we have to step down.
So I move that the consideration of the report of this committee be stepped down by the leader of the House. So move.
Ditto. Huh? Ditto.
Okay, it's only that one, yes, sir.
19th order of the day is consideration of a report on the Committee on Health Institutions on a bill for an act to establish medical center. Pascal Obi will move for his consideration.
Mr. Speaker, it seems Honorable Pascal Obi is not on the floor.
And the House will do resolve into the Committee of the Whole to consider the bills.
Speaker, once again, Comrade Peter Nhozija Patterson, representing Akoko Federal Court.
Acting with the police, that the House should resolve the Committee of Whole. I so second.
You can say aye. Against say nay. That's have it. House is hereby to resolve into Committee of Whole to consider report.
Respected colleagues,
And prohibit discrimination between first degree and higher national diploma for the purpose of employment and following matter. Long title. The next report, among other things, providing to maintain law and order and community service in Nigeria and following matters. The constitution of this report was stepped down for an ad committee to work on it and brief the House. I think the report is now ready. Honorable Doctor, can you brief the House? Every microphone should work.
Honorable Chair, honorable colleagues, the Chair may recall that sometimes in November 2020, by members, which result under the leadership of all those thorny areas or controversial provisions made in the earlier bills were discussed and at the end of the day were reviewed. And with the kind permission of Honorable Chair, I would want to highlight where vigilante groups who are supposed to be monitoring their activities. The committee sat down and discussed and agreed that the rightful place where this agency or group is supposed to be located is the Ministry of Police Affairs. So it was the issue of the role of the Nigerian police was also discussed during the group, including provision of leadership on the transitional period of time. The transition period, as reflected on the bill, is for 5 years. That the vigilante group will not be managing itself for a period of 5 years because of security implications. So police officers, right from the level of the headquarters to the state command, to the local government command, and to the ward command, should be, for these transitional periods, be managed by police officers. Another area of dispute during the last deliberation was the use of arms, firearms, and lethal weapons by the group. It was agreed by this ad hoc committee that the whole entire provisions made for the use of firearms, and lethal weapons should be expunged completely from the group with other agencies, where some auxiliary services are provided under the functions of the group were found to be at variance with other agencies. So the review took note of that, and at the end of the day, all those areas were removed, and in place of them, what was actually mentioned on the bill is that the vigilante group of Nigeria can only provide support services to assist those agencies. The last but not the least, in fact, the most important aspect that was challenged during the last deliberation was the issue of funding. The earlier bill sought for funding direct from the Federation accounts, which means the federal government is supposed to take care of the budget. Ad hoc committee deliberated on this, and at the end of the day, agreed that all aspects from the federal government, from the state government, and from the local government, it should not be seen as if the federal government will have any financial responsibility as far as the group is concerned. So, Honorable Chair, all those observations and corrections were already done and reflected on the bill before you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my brother. And I think we should do everything possible to improve the security in the country. Thank you for what you have done, but my only reservation to this bill still is on the issue of funding, partnership to our security agencies and our country. And when you now say they should not be the ones to go and contribute or to look for social contribution, I think since we are enacting a law, there is nothing bad in seeking for funding for them so that can also be guided properly. You make them a complete organization. Security should be everybody's business. And we have seen their effort, we have seen their work. I believe from the northeast, the south, I don't believe the funding aspect should be looked into. So when we get to that place, we will do the consideration, help us to suspend that axis so that you look into it again. Maybe by next week we'll come back and conclude on it. Thank you. That would be my plea. Thank you. +1, 2. Six. 7. 9.
Yeah, which is supposed to be.
Interpretation. Where are we? Thank you. 26. Hmm? 30. So, Doctor Alex, allow our Saraki to hear us. My plea again, look at the funding and then those who would like to fund terrorism and other things getting into it. So we have to couch it in such a way that it should be certainly in the interest of our own country. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Colleagues, the next report to consider is the Committee on Human Rights on a bill for an act to repeal the National Human Rights Commission Act, Cap 46 of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004 as amended, and enact the National Human Rights Commission Bill to strengthen the Commission to conduct the investigation and sustain activities. So what is the long title? Yes, Honorable Rima. Technical people help us make the mic work.
All right, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Once again, my name is Romande Shawulu Kwewum, representing Taukum Donga Usa and Yangtu Federal Constituency of Taraba State. This bill was referred to the committee, and the committee did public hearing with the Senate. And the main purpose of the bill is to repeal, to harmonize the Human Rights Commission Act Cap N46 laws of the Federation 2004 and the 2010 amendment, which were operating side by side and therefore generating some inconsistencies in the effective application of the Act. So this work was meant to harmonize them so that there will be a standard document that will be used by the Commission. And what it did also was to help to improve the investigation operations of the Commission as it relates to written approval for investigations. Of course, there was a provision in the Home Act which says that the commission should maintain a certain fund, but it did not state how the fund should be generated. And what the committee did, what this work did, this bill has done, is to cure that, to ensure that there is a fund on which the commission can, the preamble and a few clauses were amended, and a schedule was provided and an amendment to the explanatory note made. So this is just what has been done in this amendment that was committed to the committee. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. My worry is when you mentioned that you worked with the Senate. No problem about working with the Senate. Was the referral for you to work with the Senate, or the committee decided to do that?
I think some of the things that bills that come before the House, some of those bills are also in the Senate. I think the report is in the report. The sessions were held, and the Senate President was present. The Senate President sent a representative. The Speaker
don't worry. We want to maintain our independence.
No. It is not based on what the Senate did. It's just the formality of it was not based on, it's not, I'm very jealous of that, very jealous of that independence, Mr. Speaker. I want to assure you that it's not based on what Senate did.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Clause 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 13, 14, 18, 27, 27. Okay. There is 37 citation, but I don't know which one is 36 now.
It's also citation.
It cannot be. There's 37 here, but then which one is 26? To help you and to help us, so that I would rather, because of this small, so that the small may turn into a bigger one. You go again through it, because we do not have the copy of your original report. So that we don't exclude, have some small problem. You work on it so that we come back on Tuesday. That's what I said, they should go again. We take it that it's okay. In the event, in their own diligence to be carried on this one, due to this to carry it, they find anything, we'll come back here and rectify it. That's much better. We'll defer to Constitution. Are we together? I said, are we together? Because of this small, we should have his own, pending when they will come back to us, hopefully by next week. Thank you. Leader, move that will revert to the plan, revert to plan to report progress.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My dear colleagues, I move that the committee revert to plenary to report progress. Mr. Chair, I so move.
Honorable Ali. Yes, sir. No, not Ali. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
No, not you. I called Ali.
Okay, I thought you said I'm the guy. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ali Adeyemi, I think it's my name. I represent Mission 2, Mission 1 in Lagos. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the leader on this motion that we should reserve power to the plenary. I so second, sir. Thank you.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. That's have it. Plan to report progress. Colleagues, while the clerk is writing his report, we still have a supplementary order paper. And so this bill to be considered is for Akoko Edo State and for related matters. And I call on the leader of the House to move that will resolve to Committee of the Whole to consider the report.
Mr. Speaker, just information. He has to move for move a motion to enable us to take the motion, consider the motion. He has to move a motion for consideration of the report. Yes, sir.
Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, I move that this House do consider the report on the School of Mine and Geological Studies at Akoko Edo. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Yes. Kevin.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Honorable Kabir Idris, member representing Kura Madobiga Rumala. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Kano State, and I rise to support this motion, heavily moved by our deputy leader.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. That's have it. Moved for the House to resolve to Committee of the Whole to consider the report.
Mr. Speaker and my dear colleagues, I move that this House do resolve to the Committee of the Whole to consider the report as so moved, Mr. Speaker.
Seconder.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Abdulgani Johnson. I represent the good people of Ushudi Solo Federal Constituency 2. I rise to move the motion ably raised by
Committee to consider the report. School of Mines and Geological
bill. However, it was returned on of education in the document in circulation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
At least every member is aware that is to correct ourselves. So clause 24. Khalid, thank you. Move on.
To report progress, I so do, Mr. Speaker.
Another 2 weeks.
Federal Constituency.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. To progress. Respected colleagues, the House and the Committee of the Whole consider a report on a bill for an act to abolish and prohibit dichotomy and discrimination between the first degree and higher national diploma in the same profession, field of purpose of study, for the purpose of employment and for related matters. Approved clauses 1 to 8 and the long title of the report. Respected colleagues, the House and the Committee of the Whole consider the report on the bill for an act to establish the vigilante group of Nigeria charged with responsibility to, among other things, provide clause 16 to 10, deferred clauses 11, approved clauses 12 to 30, the schedule, the long title, and the explanatory memoranda of the report. Respected colleagues, the Chairman, the House and the Committee of the Whole consider the report of the Committee on Human Rights on a bill for an act to repeal the National Human Rights Commission Act, CAP, N4 Laws of Federation of Nigeria 2004 and as amended, and enact the National Human Rights Commission Bill to strengthen the Commission to conduct investigation and sustain activities in Nigeria and following matters and deferred. The report is open. The human right. It was just on clause 26 that we deferred. Yes, if I remember. We approved clauses 1 to 25 and then deferred clauses 26. The House and the Committee, Akoko, Edo State and following matters and approved clauses 24 of the report. Leader, move for the
mic, please. Okay. Mr. Speaker, I move that the House do adopt the report as presented. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Order of the House.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. I remain Benjamin Okezie Kalu, present the people of Nigeria, starting from Bende Federal Constituency, Mr. Speaker, and from Abia State, the right to second the motion ably moved by the Deputy Leader of the House. I so second.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. Because of the motion brought by Honorable Gudaji Kazare, which is very important, and the budget is in session, about being concluded, and the House has accepted the prayer that for the input in terms of what should be done to make the correctional centers more better in terms of security and other requests made in the motion. I pray that we suspend our rules to adopt the votes and proceedings so that it would enable the clerk communicate the very relevant committees for further necessary legislative actions. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I am Abubakar Fulata. I represent Borneo Agrika Samaguri Federal Constituency, Mr. Speaker, I'm from Jigawa State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I move that we do suspend our relevant rules to enable us to adopt the votes and proceedings of today's sittings. I so move. Mr. Speaker, I move that we suspend our relevant rules to enable us to adopt
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, respected colleagues. QS Ali Mohammed Abdul Momi, MNIQS, member representing Nasrallah Toto Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I write to second a motion heavily moved by a colleague, I so second.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. So move for the adoption of votes and proceedings of today.
Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, I move that the votes and proceedings of the day should be adopted. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Dr. Alex.
Federal constituency. I write to second the motion as moved by the deputy majority leader.
They are complaining that they didn't hear you.
That be a call federal constituency. I write to second the motion as moved by the majority leader. So second.
But did you hear what he said? The last comment he passed? Adjournment of the House to Tuesday next week, 11 a.m.
Mr. Speaker, I don't feel like remaining here perpetually. I've been directed to move that we adjourn till Tuesday next week by 11 a.m. I so move.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues. I remain Honorable Kabir Idris, member representing Kura Madobiga, to adjourn the sitting today till next week, Tuesday, the 22nd of November 2021 at 11 a.m. I so support, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Clerk, whilst in chair, I have observed our secretariat feeling very hot. It means then the atmosphere is very unconducive. Do your best. Not only them, I think members too have been finding themselves. And it's not good for the system. I want to beg of you to do that, please. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. That's have it. To Tuesday, 11 a.m. You said? 23rd.